We're talking about housebreaking your toy-sized puppy. So when we say toy-sized, we're talking about the breeds that don't get very large at all. They go home with their own special housebreaking kit. So we're going to talk about the concepts to start with. So the first thing to understand, just like every other kind of dog, your toy breed puppy by nature is a den-oriented animal. In the wild, they would want to sleep in a small, safe, enclosed area. And so in your home, the crate becomes the dog's den. And anytime you are unable to watch your puppy, you want to have it in a safe space. So this is going to be the safe space. And when we talk about when the dog should be in here, it's literally any time that you cannot physically pay attention to your puppy. When you have a toy breed dog, they might disappear on you. Like you turn your back and where did the puppy go? And it ran under the couch or it ran behind some piece of furniture and you don't know. So making sure you know where your puppy is at all times is very important, particularly when they are so small. And the crate not only keeps the puppy in a predictable spot, but it helps prevent mistakes. When your little dog pees on the floor, the puddle's not very large. And dogs are scent-oriented animals. So when the puppy makes a mistake on the carpet, if you're not there to observe it, it might be actually creating a scent signature in the wrong spot where you would not want that puppy to go back and pee again. You know, you wouldn't want it to find a spot behind the couch and make repeat mistakes back there. So again, the crate is going to be your safe spot for the puppy to be anytime you can't watch it. When we think about where in your home the crate should be, you want to think about areas where you're going to spend some time. And you also want to think about areas where the path to outside for potty is a fairly straight shot. So for a lot of people, that's going to be a living room or a family room. You do not want to be putting the crate in a bedroom, because if the puppy whines at night, you're not supposed to respond to that whining. You're not supposed to go outside when the puppy whines at 2 or 3 in the morning, because you don't want that puppy to be training you. You want to be training the puppy. So for that very simple reason, bedrooms are not the best place, because you don't want the puppy to understand that if it whines long enough, you're going to come and let that puppy out. So the other thing about this crate is it has a divider panel. And that is so the space your puppy has access to is limited. You do not want to give your puppy enough space where it can pee in one end of the crate and sleep in the other end, because that does not create a reason to hold it. Instinctively, dogs do not want to pee in their crate. And so with the divider panel, if the puppy's in here and it does make potty, which it will make potty, it becomes a learning experience for your pet, because they make pee, they make poo, they're sitting in it, and they don't like that. That's gross to the dog. And so that creates the incentive so that next time when the puppy has to go potty, he's going to be looking around like, oh my God, I have to go potty. There's nowhere else to go. And it's going to try to hold it. And through trying to hold it, you're working up your bladder and your bowels until it actually can hold it. Now, we have to be realistic. A toy breed puppy, it has got a very small bladder. So, you know, you're not going to be able to leave it in the crate for very long without there being mistakes. But each mistake is part of the learning for the puppy. And so with a small breed dog, you're probably looking about 3 weeks to a month till no mistakes in the crate. If you're able to regiment the feeding and if you're able to have a very consistent schedule, you may get better results than that. But we do just have to be realistic that little dogs have little bladder, little bowels, and they are going to have to go potty frequently. So the other thing that you want to think about when you're looking at the den, you want this to be a welcoming place. You don't want the puppy freaking out when they go in here. So if you'll note in our store, every puppy has a friend, especially the little dogs. They might have 2 or 3 friends. They all sleep in a pile together. So we give you a cozy companion as part of this housebreaking kit. The cozy companion actually has a beating heart, and it has a reusable heat pad that you can put inside this to make it a warm friend that has a beating heart, so the puppy does not feel alone. So tonight, when you get your puppy set up in your kennel, you're going to pick the place for your kennel, and then you're going to turn on the heart, and you're going to use the heating pad, and then you're going to set this up in here. And then we want the puppy to have a positive association with the den. So we have bison bites included with your training kit. The bison bites are just bison meat and bison gravy in a freeze-dried form. So you give them one of these little nuggets, you put the bison bite in there, you've got the little friend ready to go, and we're going to close up the den and walk away. Now we have an optional add-on. If this is going to be a den that's going to be in a main room and you don't want to go to bed when the puppy goes to bed, you want to be up for a little while, sometimes it's tough that the puppy can see you and it's like, hey, let me out of this crate. So we have a den cover. And so this is actually fitted to the precise size of this crate. And so that helps prevent the puppy from like grabbing the fabric and pulling the whole cover into the crate. If you put a blanket over there, you'll get some seclusion, but the problem with the blanket is nothing is securing it to the crate, so they might pull a bit of that in there and chew on it. That's less likely to happen with the fitted den cover. And so you have a roll down top to that den cover. So you put the puppy in there and then roll down the cover and the dog is fully enclosed. So that may be good if you're finding that the puppy's going to be in a main area of your home and you don't want to go to bed when you put the puppy to bed. So this is an optional add-on for you. So then we have to talk about how you're going to begin your housebreaking in the morning. Now you do have an option of crate training your dog where it sleeps in the crate but then goes potty indoors on a pee pad or a turf. We have a separate video that we shot and we have a whole little package if you're going to indoor train your dog. You can do that. With the crate training process, it doesn't really matter if you're going outside for potty or inside for potty. The crate is helping provide a safe spot where the dog doesn't get into trouble and helping the dog build bladder or bowel control. We're going to now talk about how to train for outside. So if you're going to train for outside potty, you want to pick a spot in your yard that is the potty zone. And for a small dog, it doesn't have to be a very big potty zone at all. But you have a scented spray that smells like pee. So you're just going to pick a spot in the yard and you're going to pick a 2-foot area and apply this scented spray before you bring the puppy out in the morning that first day. Got the potty zone marked. Then you're going to get ready with a reward. So we include a lickety stick. The lickety stick has good tasting stuff inside and it's like a roller ball for deodorant. Little dogs, if you give them a treat, it takes them forever to eat the treat. They're chewing on it, they're dropping it. It takes a long time for the puppy to chew the treat. So the lickety stick is an instant reward. You uncap it and they take a couple licks and they know they did a good job. So you're going to bring this with when you go. So first morning, time to take the puppy out for potty. If you have the crate cover, you'll roll that up. If not, you're just going to undo your crate and it's a lift to open. And you're going to get your puppy out and you're going to put it in its harness and leash. And then we're going to take the puppy outside. Now, there's one additional optional thing. It's not part of the kit, but it's an optional thing. You can teach your dog to communicate with you that it's got to go potty. They have the doorbells, the potty bells. You hang this on or near the door to outside. We usually recommend that you take the bell and you hang it on the door frame. Use a little command hook and have it so that the bell is right at eye level for the puppy. So you'll have to hang it down fairly low. And every time it's time to go potty then, you'll actually take the puppy's little paw and have it hit the bell and then say a phrase. So if that phrase is, let's go potty, that's what you're gonna do. Every single time you lead the dog to the door in his harness and leash, bend down, take his little paw, let's go potty, and you lead him out to the place to go potty. If you do that every day, for 10 days straight, every single time everyone who's taking the puppy out hits the bell, then on day 10, when you go to the door, you're not going to hit the bell on day 10. You're going to stand in front of the door and you're going to wait for your puppy to have a reaction. And some puppies will just kind of like start to whine and look up at you because what you're doing now is off routine. What you really want the puppy to do is hit the bell or scratch on the door, and in which case, yay, okay, let's go out for potty. If the dog doesn't figure it out after about 30 seconds, we're just gonna help him out, use his little paw, hit the bell, give it 5 more days of that routine, and then try again with the paws and see if the puppy reacts. So the great thing about this is it communicates, the bell is giving you a way to communicate, this means go out for potty. This doesn't mean anything else. If you're relying on your dog to whine or bark or paw at your leg to tell you that it wants to go outside for potty, just understand that those behaviors could mean a variety of things. The bell just means let's go outside for potty. So it's an optional add-on and we recommend this significantly. Once you head outside, you bring your dog physically to the potty zone that you've marked with the housebreaking spray. You put them outside and you tell them, okay, go potty. And now you're not getting your puppy revved up. Going outside for potty, it's not playtime, it's potty time. So we don't want the puppy to think that it's time to like run around and play and stuff. It's not that at all. We're leading the puppy to the potty zone and we're just gonna stand there with him, keep the leash kind of close so that way the dog doesn't have a lot of room to wander. Okay, go potty. And if he doesn't do it right away, you're just gonna stand there and wait for him to sniff the ground. When they start to sniff the ground, that's your indicator something's gonna happen. And then once they go potty, after they're done, don't freak out right when they do it because little dog will get scared. So the dog goes potty, good boy, good potty, and we give them the lickety stick. And just a couple licks is fine. Once they've gone potty, we can go back inside. You're gonna offer breakfast, and then you're gonna repeat the whole outside process about 5 to 10 minutes after offering breakfast. Puppies, especially little puppies, they'll have to go potty fairly soon right after they eat. You know it's coming, so be ready every single time. So there is an opportunity to put pee pads down near the door to outside. This is, as I said earlier, you could just train your dog to go potty on these, but if you're outdoor training, putting a pad near the outdoor door helps because if that way the puppy knows like, oh, this is the direction of where I'm supposed to go. If they haven't learned to indicate to you, that's certainly better than nothing. So these are 24 by 24 inch pads and they just are right by the door to outside. And then you can actually take this, if the dog does go potty in the pad, but you actually want it to go outside for potty, you can actually take the pad outside to the potty zone, lead the dog out there, have them sniff the pad where it's supposed to potty, and then when the dog sniffs the pad and looks up at you, reward with the lickety stick. Good job. This is where you're supposed to do it. If your puppy makes a mistake on the floor, you need to clean it up in a way that the dog will not know that they've made a mistake there previously. So we give you an enzyme-based cleaner. This is a bioenzymatic cleaner. It will break down the scent signature that dogs have in their pee and their poo. The scent signature attracts the dog to go potty there again. And because little dogs are able to go potty so quickly, we definitely want to keep an eye on the puppy, look at wherever it is, and anytime there is a mistake, use the enzyme cleaner to clean it up so there's no odors that are attracting the puppy back to those specific spots where it's made a mistake. So anytime that there's been a mistake, use the enzyme cleaner, clean it up. So if you think about what we're doing from a housebreaking standpoint, we are creating a scent outside or on the pee pad, wherever we want the puppy to potty, and then we are directing the puppy to the spot we've marked with the odor. We are reinforcing that the dog did a good thing when it went potty on that spot. Using our lickety stick, we're gonna instant reward, and then we're gonna use the enzyme cleaner to clean up any mistakes, to erase any of the odors inside, so that way the dog's not making repeat mistakes, not attracted back to those potty spots. If your puppy gets pee or poo on itself because it's been in the crate and it made a mistake, we do give you some puppy wipes. You don't want to overbathe your puppy. So if the puppy gets a lot of poop or pee on it, you're going to have to give it a bath. But just a little bit on the paws, use the puppy wipes. That's going to be better. It's not going to dry out the dog's coat, and it allows you to do a precision cleanup job. And you will have some mistakes initially, so this is the way to go. When you're outside with your puppy walking it around the yard or walking it along the sidewalk, whatnot, you do have poo bags, so that way you can do a quick cleanup for that. And then we get into some of our little dog specific stuff. So you do have a water bottle. This is how the puppies access water here. Your puppy should have access to water at all times. With our nutrition package, you do get stress relief drops. You can actually add some of the stress relief drops to the water, and that gives them a little boost of sugars throughout the day when you're not home, which can be helpful for these little dogs. One of our biggest concerns when a little dog moves to a new environment is how stress is affecting the little dog. You don't want to do too many things that will overly stress your small puppy. So when you take it home for the first week to 2 weeks, you're not going a lot of different places with your puppy. You're letting the puppy get used to your house, your routine, any other pets that you may have, and that's it. You're not taking your little dog to other people's houses. You're not taking it to the dog park. You're not taking it to a variety of pet stores. You're letting your little dog get used to your stuff and your environment. The more different places you bring your new puppy to initially, the higher the stress will be for that puppy. So we really need to just kind of treat this small breed dog like a baby and not bring it to a bunch of places. With little dogs, we are very concerned that if they get stressed, it can affect their appetite. And these little dogs have to eat regularly because they're so small, they don't have a lot of fat reserves. So we give you some specific additional things that are going to be geared towards keeping these little dogs safe and happy. One of the things that is very true of the small dogs is that sometimes they don't want to eat out of a dish. You put the food in a dish and they don't eat. But if you put the food on the floor in front of the dish, then suddenly the dog is eating. We do give you a licky mat as part of this assortment for the toy breed dogs. So the licky mat, you can put kibble on here, but you can also put the canned food on here. And as the puppy licks, licking is proven to release endorphins, which makes the puppy happy and feel calm. So you're channeling licking behavior into the eating process, and that can actually help your dog feel more comfortable in your home, which is very important when we're trying to make it happy in the new environment. Your little dog kit also includes a variety of soft food. So we're gonna send you home with 6 cans of the food that we know for sure the puppy was eating while it was here, but puppies like variety, and if your puppy's being a picky eater in the new home, you wanna give it options. So we send you home with some of the beef flavored soft food. Beef is very palatable, and if the puppy's not eating the food it went home with, offering it a spoonful or 2 of the beef would be a good way to do this. So whenever you're gonna try a new canned food, don't use a huge amount. Do a spoonful or 2 and see if the puppy likes it. That way you're not wasting food. You can always offer more if the puppy does eat it. So you have the beef, we also have a turkey and sweet potato, and then we also give you a couple cans of what's called starter mousse. So this starter is actually a very calorie dense food that is used when puppies are first weaning. So the bottom line is if the puppy's not eating its regular food, you gotta get it eating something. This is very nutrient dense and very palatable. So this is another option that's included. And of course, you're not gonna be using a whole can every time you offer canned food. In most cases, you're offering a spoonful or 2 to the puppy's dish or to its licky mat. So we do give you also the can topper. So that way, this will fit any size can. Stick the can in the refrigerator in between feeding, so that way the canned food stays fresh. We also do give you some bone broth. So this has got a cap so you can just pour a little bit on top of the dry food. You can pour a little bit into a little cup, microwave it to warm it up. It really brings the aroma out, and then use it as a topper over the food. This will definitely encourage your puppy to eat, and then you put the rest in the fridge in between uses. We also give you a stew style food. So once you open this, you'll probably put it into a Tupperware container or something, but this is chunks of meat and gravy. Highly palatable. So you initially would use this as a topper for your dry food, but if the puppy just wants to eat this straight up, this is nutritionally balanced for a puppy. This will be very good. The final thing we give you, it's the most palatable thing. It's actually freeze-dried beef. So this, the dog will love it, and it's actually very nutrient dense. You can use some of the bone broth to reconstitute it, or some puppies like to eat this dry. With this sort of a thing, you definitely want to have water around because this is a dry product. It's dehydrated meat. So it's, you eat some of that dehydrated meat, you're going to want to take a drink of water when you're done. So offer your dish of water. So that's in here as well. So we try to give you all the tools to succeed with your toy breed puppy. So this entire package is included with all of our toy-sized dogs. If you have any questions about the kit or how any of it works, please talk to your pet counselor.